Hey everyone, today I'm joined by Dave Maxwell from ROMEX Canada. Thanks for joining us, Dave.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about ROMEX?
Yeah, so to give you a really high-level view of what ROMEX is we're a 40-year-old company based out of Cologne, Germany. We started as a floor coatings company, and then what we found out is with the resin technologies we're using is that it binds filler sands and aggregates. So about 30 years ago, that's where the permeable hardscape division side started. In that, we're now distributed in over 27 different countries. We're using 15 different products. Now, it sounds like a lot, but the main thing you want to think of is that we have 3 different product lines. So permeable bedding, permeable jointing, and permeable gravel binding.
So let's talk about the product choices for the driveway, because I know that's part and parcel to like a really important first decision. Can you walk us through the decision making? And I know ROMEX is very keen on having the contractor to choose the right product.
So with every project, we always ask that you call before, even call when you install as well. The reason being is because we have 7 different products to choose from, especially when it comes just to the jointing, which is what we were using only on this project for the driveway. What we had though was a driveway section and a pedestrian section, or a walkway we'll call it. So with that being said, what we always look at is what's your paver type, mainly looking at what your joint width. And then the other thing we're looking at is what's that intended structural load capacity. So in the situation over here on the right, we were looking at a vehicular use. So that's why we selected what is the Fugen sand used with the D7000 joint strengthener.
So let's walk through the installation of the Fugen sand and the D7000.
When we started with the driveway, what we looked at was obviously that joint width. We knew it was going to be a driveway vehicular application. So that's why we selected the Fugen sand with the ROMEX D7000. The Fugen sand is a dry sand application install, so like your typical polymeric. However, this one is permeable, which no other product is on the market. And then we use the D7000 after you do the installation of the sand, which is actually strengthening the joints to give it a resin grout-like feel, which comes with all the maintenance benefits, but also the durability benefits that we speak about. And the big main reason why we use it for the driveway is because it allows that deflection and give without breaking off the pavers, which is ultimately what we wanted with that driveway application.
Right, so it still remains a little bit flexible.
Correct.
And then why did we choose EcoFine for the walkway, the Umbriano?
Yeah, so the reason why we selected the EcoFine for this one is because it's a little bit tighter joint. The Umbriano is what we like to call a little bit more of a finickier paver, because when we use resin products, there is a chemistry involved that sometimes with certain aggregate types or concrete or whatever you want to call it, it's going to have what we might call like a resin enhancement. Some clients don't like it, however, it will dissipate. But the instance of the EcoFine, there is no resin enhancement. So that's why we selected it with the Umbriano, and based on the joint width and the fact that it's pedestrian rating as well. So going back to that structural load capacity ratings, super easy to install because it is a pre-mixed bucket. Just simply take it to site, cut the bag, wet the surface, drop it in, squeegee it, broom it. So that means no compactors, no leaf blowers, no extra equipment like you would say with your dry sand installs or even mortar grout situation.
So Fugen sand, more of a traditional poly sand installation, dry, sweep it in, compact, top it up, and then you're adding the D7000 to strengthen the joints, makes it a bit more maintenance friendly, pressure washable. EcoFine's a wet install. So if you're looking at the forecast, another thing to consider, especially late in the year, early in the year, want to look for nice dry sunny days for this installation here. And for the EcoFine, it doesn't have to be a dry sunny day, it can be a little bit of rain.
Yeah, like we tend to think of resin sands as a little bit more friendlier for your forecasting, which is great for contractors because there's nothing worse than when they want to wrap a job up, get the jointing done onto the next one, invoice that out. So with that being said, the resin products are great because you need a surface temperature of 5 degrees and up, and then it can be done in a light precipitation. So what that means is you're not using the hose the whole time to wet the surface and wet the product to transport it. Instead, it's being wet with the rain that's coming down, squeegee it in. The only trick here is, and obviously we'll tell you this when we're on site doing the free installer training, is that you want to make sure you're getting in those little sands, little freckles that can be left on the surface area that's usually done with the brooming. When it's wet, you want to kind of avoid that because your brooms will get all mucked up. Instead, you just want to make sure you come back, sweep it once it's dry, and then you're completely done. But this gives the advantage to contractors of not always sending their guys home instead.
Yeah, great product for the shoulder seasons when weather's a little bit harder to predict.
Yep, because the big thing we want to think about with polymeric sands is, if we're being truthful, it's ideal between, let's call it late spring, early fall, where instead this is really going to open up that window for installations. Both have their great usages, as we talked about, from structural load capacity ratings to those joint widths. So really we're giving you 7 different products that range in all different types of solutions and applications to make sure it gets done right.
Amazing. Well, thanks again for joining us. I just wanted to mention that all the ROMEX products are available through our dealer network. And if you have any further questions, you can reach out to your Unilock territory manager. Thanks again, Dave.
Yeah, thank you.